Hello everyone. In this video now we're about to start using CSS to assign a certain style to simple pages, HTML pages, as the ones that we have been developing. Okay, so for this exercise I'm having here an HTML page with a cooking recipe, basically, okay, of chicken. So you can watch here that this page doesn't have any format, okay, neither alignment, neither colors, nothing, okay, it's plain, simply. So what we can do to use CSS, that it's a super powerful way to assign style to our web pages, is start linking the file here at the head section. So we're going to say link, the relation is style sheet, okay, then this is type text CSS, and here we're going to include the link of the file, but really we haven't created, so we need to create this file, and I'm going to make it over here in the same folder, okay, you say simply new file, but we're going to call this style.css, so it is different. Okay, now let me return to my recipe. Okay, so here I'm going to link style.css with this HTML file, basically. Okay, so once that you do that, we're going to start here at the style CSS, including all the commands to format every element of the web page. Okay, so I'm going to say, for example, to start with the body and assign a certain color, I'm going to say body, as it is the element of the HTML that we want to format, and we're going to assign, what about a background color. Do you see that we start typing and a lot of properties that we can use appear here? Okay, so I'm going to say, no, it wasn't black. Let's say that I want to apply another color, for example, background color, and I will start typing here something like a light color, could be. Visual Studio helps you to locate different colors, so I'm going to use, for example, this one. Okay, then to include another property, you include semicolon there, and well, let's see the effect just about this, and a margin. Okay, let's apply a margin to the left, and I'm going to apply this with a percent, 10%, and a margin to the right that is exactly the same. Okay, so you save it, you know you need to save both files, and then, well, it's already open, so I just need to refresh, and voila. Okay, do you see that now the page has a color and it has certain margins? Fine. Okay, let's assign more style to, for example, the elements that have or that are defined as headings. Okay, so here I can assign a certain font using font family, okay, this one, and there Visual Studio again supports us, providing different fonts that we can use. Let's try this one. Okay, there, remember to finish all the properties, all the assignment of properties with semicolon, and then let's change the color to maybe be red. Okay, red, that one, simple red. Okay, and let's align the text to the center, so I'm going to say text align center, as that. Okay, again we save, refresh, and let's see what happens. Voila. Okay, there it goes. Heading 1 is now formatted. Okay, let's continue with another element. For example, what happens with the next would be these ingredients, I mean the unordered list, so it's a UL. See that you need to assign here as a selector of style the element, the HTML element that you want to format. For example, here, as you may remember, to create an unordered list, we use the tag UL. So then in style, we're going to assign a format to this element, UL. Okay, and here we can do kind of another change of font, okay, using, let's try another one, for example that one, that family. And then we can change here, for example, the background color, but this will apply just for the list. Okay, for example, let's try with a color tomato. Okay, well, let's see what happens with this. If we refresh, do you see now the font is different, and we have a back color just for this block of text, okay, for the list. In the case that you want to limit the size, we can do that, okay, to limit the width, for example, of this color, because the list acts like a rectangle. Okay, so basically we're going to say here, for example, limit the width. To make it, we can assign a value, you know, in percent, as we did here in the margins, or we can assign a value in pixels. This time I'm going to make it pixels. Okay, so I will say the width is 20 pixels and 20 pixels only. Okay, my gosh, it's too narrow. Let me make it, for example, 200 pixels. Maybe it's still, it wouldn't be enough for the ingredients. Well, let's make it a bit bigger. No, 300 pixels. Okay, you save, and let's try. That looks better. Okay, so in this way you can change the width of every element, paragraph, even image, okay, if you want to. For example, let's start doing some formatting to the image. For example, you select again the element that you want to affect. In this case is the image element, because we have one image included. Let me check, it's this one. No, so you choose the same element, and this will be the image. We can assign, for example, a border, let's say. Okay, so I can say the border for this image, I want to use it to make it of 5 pixels. Let's make it dashed to see the effect, and the color will be again the beautiful tomato. Okay, we save, and let's see what happens to the picture. Do you see? Now it has a border. Okay, if we wanted to center this image, for example, what we need to do is say display as a block. Okay, and then we can use a property of margin auto, okay, that we set in the presentation. This margin auto, what it makes is it centers the element. So you save, refresh, and this is it. Okay, you may say that there are many properties, and truly there are, okay, but the thing is, you need to practice. In order to master them and to understand how they work, the only way is practice and practice and try. Okay, experiment with them. Let's finish making some change to the paragraphs. Paragraphs are, we have many, I mean, in the directions, no, of the recipe here. So if I wanted to change, for example, again, the font family, okay, and let me use font family there, the same as we use with the list, that is trebuchet, that one, okay. But let's say that now we want to apply, what else could that be? Another back color. Or maybe change the font size, you know, font size, let's make it bigger. This time it will be of 14 pixels. Okay, I think, check it. When Visual Studio detects an error, it underlines it like this, okay, with a wave. So you need to finish, the thing is that I didn't finish my previous line with a semicolon. Okay, and that fixes the error. We save, refresh. Let's see what happened with the text. Okay, now it is done. Maybe we didn't notice, but let me change this, the font size to make it even bigger, 20 pixels, to distinguish what happened. Okay, and again do a refresh, and now it is. Okay, well, I hope that this video helps you a bit to understand how to include a CSS file, to link it with your HTML, that in this case was this super plain file. Okay, and you can play with the properties. I strongly recommend you to watch the presentation, because here you have kind of a guide of the common properties to use for text, for margins, for borders, okay, and that. So there you have it. Okay, and well, if you wanted to assign a class, okay, because we didn't make the exercise here, let's make it. I can do that. For example, well, it's not here, it's on the recipe. If I want to assign a class to certain paragraphs, okay, for example, let's say that I have another paragraph, but this will be special. Okay, so the class will be special if you want to assign a different style to this paragraph. And I can say, for example, here, to finish my recipe, just enjoy. Okay, so then we can define, instead of using an element in the style CSS, we can use the class, okay, to assign a specific style for that paragraph. So we can say dot style. See the difference? Okay, when we want to stylish an element, you just assign the name of the element, but when it is a class, you need to start with a dot. Okay, and then let's say that I want to use same properties as the paragraphs. They will be included in this style because it is of the, it belongs to the same element. But if I want to modify, for example, the color, okay, to make it red, the same as the title, and if I want to make this text align to the center, okay, and the font size, let's make it bigger than the previous, so I'm going to make it 30. Okay, and then let's see the effect. Okay, I return to the recipe. Right now, well, we still don't have neither the text. I think that I didn't save the recipe HTML. You need to save it. Save it. Okay, fine. And then, okay, let's refresh. It didn't take the style. Okay, what happened here? It is class special. Okay, I included a different name. My mistake. Okay, so there it goes. Again, we have the enjoy, the final line, and there we have it now as we style in the CSS file. Okay, well, thanks for your attention, guys. Please develop now your second activity of this last unit of the course. Okay, bye bye.